All right, welcome back everybody. So this is going to be an episode on building this 2024 W900 B model into a log truck. So what we're working on today, I'm not sure which episode, if this is going to be part 1 or 2 or what, but what I think I'm going to do is make a video on the truck bunk only, on how I make the truck bunk, install it and all that. And then we'll make another video on the head rack by itself. And then we will go from there. Maybe make a video on like a chain box. And then I'm planning on trying to double taper this frame at the back with some friends. So we'll see how well that goes. I've never done one before. None of my buddies have, but we're going to try it. We don't think it's going to be as bad as we think. So I'll try to make a video on that as well. So I don't know how many videos we'll make on this, but I'm afraid they might be long. So hopefully that's not a problem, but we'll just see what happens. But right now, the first thing I was going to work on was this truck bunk assembly. As you can see, we've got the tires singled out, quarter fenders off, and the rear flaps are off. What I have done here is I like to run this, what I call an outside angle mount for the bunk. And then the bolts will be out here to hold the bunk down. That way, I don't know, I like that because I think it's easier. If you wanted to take the bunk off to, I don't know, work on these torque rods, or if you had to change a rear end or anything down here, you could just pull the bunk off fairly quickly and get that out of your way so you had a little better access. So that's kind of why I like to do that. I'm going to do the same thing on the head rack, outside angle. It's quite a bit more work, but like I said, I like that. And then if I want to take the head rack off for whatever reason, to polish the back of the cab, or you got all this bulkhead here of airlines. If those need to be repaired, you can get the head rack out of your way so you can access it a little bit easier. So that's what I'm going to do. Back to the bunk. So first thing, this is a 4" by 3" by 3/8 thick iron. And what I did was we put 2 pieces here across the rail, and those are clamped down, and then we clamp this 4x3 piece to the bottom of this. So that way we know that the top of this outside angle and the top of the frame are flush. So that's the easiest way I've figured out how to do it. So that's how I'm going to do it. There may be better ways to do it, but this is how we're going to do it. So that's all. This piece is where I need it to be. So next we're going to take a transfer punch and we're going to mark, there is 6 holes. You can't see them, but there's 6 holes in the frame right here. We're going to use the transfer punch and punch from the inside out into this piece of metal. And then I will drill those holes, and then we'll have to come back and I'm going to put, I believe, 4 more bolt holes in this piece, but there's no holes in the frame, so we'll have to measure that out and locate them where we need to be. We just have to be careful on the inside. There are welded studs that hold the hoses and wiring on, so we'll have to locate them so those, no interference with those. So that's the next step, is we'll, like I said, transfer punch those and drill them. Okay, so the transfer punch did not work as well as expected. We took this off. We do have a mark here for the back one, and this one and this one. The one I did up here did not leave a mark. Well, I figured out why, because the transfer punch, it doesn't go all the way through. Same with this hole, like it does here. So these must be off. The inside is off, the holes are off just a little bit. So I'll have to run the reamer through that. Yeah, I should have looked at, I didn't even think about that before. So that kind of screwed me there. Like I said, it didn't leave a mark. So all we got was this rear one and these two. But what I think I will do is just measure up, mark it, and I'll measure the holes, and then cross our fingers that they line up. And I don't know if you noticed, but the center 5 holes are lower down on the metal than the rear one. So this one is, it's up, let's see, it's up about 1.25 inches from the bottom of the metal, and these are up about 3/4 of an inch, I think it was, something like that. Yeah. So the holes that I'm going to drill in the front here, I'm going to do at the 1.25 inch level. So I've made my straight line here. I'm hoping to come in 3 inches to the first hole, and then probably 6 or 7 inches in between, I think, is the spacing. But like I said earlier, I will double check the where those studs and stuff are. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this out here. I'll get these ready to drill, and then we'll take it out and we'll drill all these holes here. Then what we'll do is we'll put this back on the truck, put all of these holes in, because there's no holes here. So we'll put it all in, temporarily bolt it up, clamp it up here, and then we'll mark the frame to drill. And then once we're happy with that, we will put our right side angle iron, put it up against this one, and then mark and drill the holes off of that. They all should be a mirror image. Each side should be a mirror image of the other. So it would have been easier if I would have had this hole punched, but I was going to have to measure these two anyway, because it's very tough. This one you can't get the punch in, the transfer punch, and this one's very difficult. So I guess if I had to measure 2, I should be able to measure 3. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that, and I'll bring you back when I get them laid out. All right, well, we finally got the spacing figured out for the rest of the holes that we're going to drill. And like I said earlier, we're going to move them a little up to this other plane of this other line. So that's going to be the front 4 holes are going to be on that. But I figured the spacing out, so we've got those marked, center punched, and just like I said earlier, we had to make sure the spacing worked from the welded studs that are on the inside. We don't want to interfere with that and all this wiring and stuff. So I think I got them right. Let's hope. So next step is we'll get out the drill, and we will drill all these holes, and then we'll put her back on here and see how it fits. And then you want to turn on the coolant also for these bits, because I think I used to turn it on about half or so. And let's see what happens. Watch your ears. Here we go. Look at me, didn't even put my earplug or my earmuffs on, dummy. Now I'll just go ahead and turn the coolant off. So 1 down, I don't know how many to go. All right, well, our driver side, left side angle irons drilled. So we got all the holes punched out with the mag drill. It does a very nice job. So now let's take it in there and we'll see if they all line up. So we got our piece of angle temporarily bolted here on the sides. This 3 bolts, and we're still clamped in place, so we're still flush even with the top. And then as you can see, there's 3 remaining holes. Bolts go right in, right out. And then now we'll take our transfer punch, and we've got 4 holes up here to drill. So we'll just take our transfer punch, we'll put it in the hole, and then we'll hit it. That will mark our center of the hole. So we'll do that to the remaining 4. And then we will drill the holes in the frame. And actually, we'll take this back off, drill the holes in the frame, then we'll probably put it back on, make sure it fits, which it should fit. I don't know why it wouldn't. And then we should be able to use this left side piece as a mirror image for that. And then we can mark it and drill it. So both of these will be drilled and we should be looking pretty good. So that is the plan now. We're going to center punch those and go ahead and drill the holes in the frame. As you can see here, we have our center punches, or our centers for our holes. So we'll come back and we will drill those. All right, well, our left side's drilled. Now we have it clamped to the other, I guess the piece for the right side. Now we'll use our transfer punch and transfer all the holes, as they should be a mirror image of the other side. So we'll punch these holes and then we'll drill them out. Okay, so not a lot of filming today, but we did get these outside angle pieces. Both sides are drilled. Rounded the edge here on the sides, on the side that's going to be on the frame rail. So that edge is rounded. So my next step is we're going to go ahead and install these just temporarily. We'll put them up here with like half the bolts in them or stuff and tighten them up tight. And then that way we'll be ready to mark our holes in the top of these to hold down the plate. All right, we got an update here. So we got our outside angles on temporarily, and now we're going to drill them for get this top piece drilled for being able to mount our bunk. What I'm going to use is a 5th wheel plate that I have. I am going to mark all these holes in the plate, the spacing for this 5th wheel plate. Who knows down the road if I will ever need the 5th wheel? Probably not. But being as I have it, I thought I would make it fit these piece of angle iron, and that way if something did arise where I had to put a 5th wheel plate on, I could use this one. So what I'm going to do is I have it set up here towards the back of the plate. So I'm going to mark all of the holes, probably pull it off, drill those, and then I will set it back down. And what I'm going to do is I got about a foot here left. So I'm going to move, I think these are 12 inches on center. So I think I'll put this hole in here and move it up. And then I think I should just have to drill these 2 holes. That way, if you needed the 5th wheel farther up for some reason, we will have the option, just try to be versatile. But that's what I'm going to do there. And then I will make our bunk. When we mount the bunk, we will utilize the holes here that are going to hold this fifth wheel on. So it's kind of what I did on the other truck. And, you know, probably won't ever need it, but it's just trying to think down the road, or if I ever sold it, it'd be set up for someone else, you know, to do something. So I'm going to go ahead and center punch these holes. All right, we'll take our trusty old center punch and transfer punch, and we'll put it in here and mark all the holes. Let me just mark it. I couldn't tell if marked. All right, I'm gonna do the other side. I'll do the other side and we'll take this off and drill it. All right, guys, we got the plate all bolted down. I'll let you guys down again. I did not film all this, but last you saw we drilled this outside angle part. So I just had a piece of 3/8 plate, and I think they're about 2 inches in is where the bolt is here, and 2 inches in there, and that's just kind of evened it out. And this will be the plate that we'll weld our bunk down to, and just kind of put it in that position. The good thing about this plate is it does protect this air valve here. Like if you just ran, if you didn't run that full plate, so your bunk will be here, and then if somebody had like a short log that didn't reach your bunk as they were setting it on, it could sometimes go down in between your frame rails. And I've seen it before where it's broken fittings off of that air valve and stuff. So that's another reason that I wanted to run the full width plate, was to protect that air valve. So yeah, we're looking good here. It's turned out real nice. Just have, like I said, about half the bolts and everything tightened down, securing it. And then next we're going to get the log bunk, or the truck bunk, excuse me, and the scales, and we'll get them all positioned on here. So yeah, that should be next. Sorry I keep letting you guys down on the filming. It's just, I feel like I film a lot of stuff that's boring. So then I get discouraged and quit making videos. So, you know, that's kind of the problem there, but I'm trying to do better. So, all right. Well, next time you see me, we'll be putting the truck bunk on here. So, all right. Check back with you shortly. Okay, got an update on the bunk here. So we got, we're ready to put the bunk on the truck. This is the truck bunk here. So we're going to take it and we're going to get it mounted on the truck. So what we have here are some electronic scales for the truck and trailer. Okay, first thing, let's go back here. So on my plate, we got a line here, our center of the drives. That's usually this hole here. On a Kenworth, they have a hole here. That's the center of your trunnion, or center of the drive axles. So we got that line here. We're going to put our bunk center is going to be 8 inches ahead of the truck center line. So that's our 8-inch line. People put their bunks in all different configurations. I just I've always ran an 8 ahead, and it's always worked for me, so that's where I'm going to stick with. There's people that put it a lot farther ahead and a lot less than that. So, but 8's always worked for me, so that's what we're going to do with this truck. So that's our 8-inch line here. And then these beams are, these are the load cells here. They're 26 inches long. Yes. Okay, so this is your actual electric scale. There are 4 of these. You have 2 of these on the truck, 2 of these beams on the trailer, and then they transmit the weight of your truck or trailer. So okay, they come with these blocks. These are blocks that are going to be welded down to this, to our flat plate, approximately in this position here. We'll weld those down. This scale pad bolts to them, and then the bunk bolts to that with these 3 center bolts. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these load cells and we're going to just bolt them up to these blocks and get them where we like them, snug them down, and because we're just going to mock everything up. These load cells are old ones. They don't work anymore, but I like to use them. I like to use these old ones to mock up everything, and then we have to weld all these. So I'll leave the load cells bolted up while we're welding, and then I don't have to worry about messing up the new one with the welding or anything. All right, so what we're going to do first, we'll just take our load cell, we'll set it on these blocks, and then we'll just bolt them. Just spread these down. Might have to go get a little wrench just in case. So these are SI scales, and then they also have, who makes the other ones? Vulcan. Vulcan makes electric scales for log and truck too. Never had those. I've always just ran these. And then these blocks, I like to make them flush on the end and then just kind of even on the side, so just be a little bit of like a 1/16 of an inch here on each side, and that's what I like to do. That one's a little hard there. I mean, you don't have to, but my OCD in me. Okay, it looks pretty good. All right, let's do the other side. Oh, and these blocks, we'll tack weld them, but they only get welded on 3 sides. You don't weld the side underneath the beam. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I just know that's what we've always done. Okay, something like that. And then these are the bolts that they go in the top here, and they will hold the bunk down to these load cells. So we need 2 on that side. There's normally 3 in each side, but for this purpose, we're just going to put 2 bolts in it. So, all right, let's go get the bunk. And let's set it on there. another update. We've got our bunk on the truck with our scales. These are the my old load cells used ones, so we're going to use to tack weld everything together. So we got everything sitting pretty good where we want it, so we're going to go ahead and tack weld these blocks down on all four corners, and then we'll probably take it off the truck to finish weld it. So everything's tack welded. We took it off the truck, got it in the shop, and I'm going to finish welding it with the old stick welder because that's what I feel comfortable with. I'm going to take my time welding each corner, move around a lot so I don't get a whole lot of heat in it, and I'll come back to you when it's all welded. Well, there you go. There's a truck bunk installed on the truck. I welded these blocks on with my stick welder, did a 3-pass on 3 sides, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So I figured I'd set it back up here. Already got those bolts here tight, and put these in. Holes are looking pretty good. Bolts go in. Got one up here that the bolts doesn't really want to go in, so I'll have to when I get the subframe off here, when I go to paint it, I'll have to run the reamer through that one and make sure that they go in. But all these are looking good. So, oops, pick that up in a minute. But yeah, so I think I'll just go ahead and tighten these down just for fun. I still got to weld some hooks on this, but I was going to leave the bunk on because my half fenders are coming, so I'll probably I might try to work on those before I take this off and paint it. But yeah, that's basically the next step, is to pull this back off the truck, sandblast it, and paint it. Maybe in a few weeks. Still kind of cold out, so we're going to work on some other things on the truck to get them going. So yeah, with that, I think we'll call this video good. So this is how I installed the bunk on my logging truck. There's probably many ways to do it, probably some better ways to do it than how I did it, but this is how I did it in the past and it's worked, so I'm sure it's going to haul logs just fine. So with that, thanks for watching. Sorry it takes forever to get videos out to you, but let me know what you think of this project, and catch you on the next video.